Have you been enjoying yourself?
Yes.
How have your day been? Have you been blessed?
Yes.
We have certainly enjoyed your presence with us today. Not only did we have 508 participants from 103 churches, did you know that we also have 4 generations of seniors? Young seniors, what else? Merdeka generation, Pioneer generation, 4 generations of seniors with us today. So at this juncture, I would like to invite all the NCW SG60 volunteers to stand. All those in the red tees, including myself, I'm in a little red tees inside here. Yes, ladies, thank you for your appreciative applause to the NCW60 team who have made today such a great day. And the best is yet to come. Please stay back for dinner. So thank you, team. Thank you. Please also join me to thank our plenary speakers, Reverend Dowdy and Reverend Margaret, whom you have heard this morning. After 2 reverends spoke, I now hope I am relevant. So I would also like to thank panel moderators and their panel members, Reverend Wendy Tay and her team, Dr. Gloria Kong, Dr. Grace Lim, and Pastor Margaret herself. And also Reverend Dowdy and her team, Dr. Carmen Wong, Pastor Gracie Mark, and Dr. Angeline Teo. And of course, my own panel team, Selina Ling, Beverly Teo, and Wendy Wong. We also had dance and art instructors, right? You've been to those classes, some of you. So thank you, Elaine. Thank you, Evelyn Ong. And thank you, Linda Low. You see them again tonight, so stay back. Last but not least, of course, I would like to thank our NCW SG60, not only SG60, but all the NCW events worship team. But SG60 is led by Reverend Dr. Eileen Lim. Now, this is the first time NCW is organizing a conference for ladies aged 60 and above. And we have often been asked, why are we doing such a conference? We have heard repeatedly that the aging population, aged 65 and above, is growing rapidly in Singapore. And by 2030, 1/4 of Singapore population aged 65 and above. 1/4, 1 in 4, right? As you can see in the chart. Can we have slides on? Yep, so we have that, right? That by 2030, 1 in 4 will be age 65, right? So we are thankful for the Singapore government for planning since 2015 to make Singapore a home where all can age and with confidence and peace of mind. Hashtag not election campaign. Hashtag go to vote on May 3rd. Now, truth to be told, in the workplace, we are often told to make way for leadership renewal and workforce renewal. At home, perhaps an empty nest. At church, better not say lah. Yeah? So if 1/4 of our population is seen as low energy, the ripple effect on Singapore's socio-economic landscape would be profound. Imagine that. Another important point to note is that women tend to live longer than men. Over time, this means that the female population in our churches will grow. Yet in contrast, women pastors remain significantly fewer than their male counterparts. Can you see your road ahead? Can you see and envision your role in the near future in ministry and in the kingdom of God. Can you see the unique ministry of NCW? I hope you will support our ministry. Back to the question, why are we doing this NCW SG60 conference? It was birthed to declare that all of you who are seated in front of me are unstoppable. Let your purpose be renewed, and let your faith be rekindled. Today, my text is taken from Psalms 92, verses 12 to 14. Just 3 verses. The focus is on verse 14, but verses 12 and 13 will be the background. So Psalms 92, verses 12 to 14. The righteous flourish like the palm tree and grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Verse 13, they are planted in the house of the Lord. They flourish in the courts of our God. Verse 14 will be our focus. They still bear fruit in old age, and they are ever full of sap and green. Psalms 92 represents a clear contrast between the wicked and the righteous. But in a nutshell, it exhorts us to righteous living even in our younger days. So it starts where you are in our younger days. And then to flourish like a palm tree and to grow like the cedar, planted in the house of the Lord and flourishing in the courts of our God. As a result, they will bear fruit in an old age and ever full of sap and green. Would you not want that? That's something to be desired, right? Let's declare it today. So as I prepared this message and pondered on these 3 verses, a few questions came to my mind, and I invite you to follow my thoughts. In Psalms 92, verse 12, it says this: the righteous flourish like the palm tree and grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Who are these righteous here? You may say, I'm not righteous. You can be. They are those who walk in the rightly relationship with God, not perfect people, but those who desire to align their lives with His ways and to seek to live faithfully under His guidance. This is called the righteous. We can all be. The righteous flourish like a palm tree. Why a palm tree? The palm tree mentioned here is likely to be a date palm, which is the most valued and familiar trees in the biblical times. It's the longest living palms, probably lasting 100 to 150 years, and they are considered very useful trees. And it's fruitful, it's resilient, and it has value. So you think about the dates that we can consume, the shade that we can go under the palm tree, and also what we can use the tree trunk for. So it is fruitful, it is resilient, it has enduring value. And the righteous grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Why a cedar tree? Because the cedar of Lebanon typically grow 1,000 to 2,000 years. It shows strength, it shows longevity, it shows historical significance. And this is why we should be growing like a cedar of Lebanon. And we should flourish like a palm tree. So to flourish like a palm tree means that we are able to thrive in the hardest places and producing external fruitfulness, not for ourselves, but to bless people around us. And that's what flourishing like a palm tree means. And grow like a cedar, which means that when we have the depth, when we have the maturity, We have that unshakable character which can only be formed through time and through testing. So therefore, to flourish like a palm tree, it means that fruitfulness. And to grow like a cedar, it simply means spiritual depth and lasting strength that is formed over time. When we put these two words together, flourish and grow, it can simply mean that the righteous are anchored deep like the cedar and yet visibly fruitful like the palm. In today's world, it's known as palm and cedar hybrid. Yeah? So they are planted in the house of the Lord, and they flourish in the courts of our God, as read in verse 13. So we see a divine progression here. When we are planted, we draw from God's presence. And when we draw from God's presence, we flourish in God's purposes. So if you are planted in His house, you are positioned in God's presence for spiritual stability, for growth, and for connection. And you will flourish in the courts of our God, living a fruitful and impactful life. And I declare this upon you. You will still bear fruit in old age and ever full of sap and green. Each generation will see old age differently. When my nephew was 4 years old, we were talking about his great-grandmother, which means my grandmother. And he said that great-grandma was aging. And I asked him, do you understand what is aging? And he said this to me, yes, of course. It means a dissolving process. Life just fizzes out, then no more. Now, I don't know where he got this idea from, but it must be from adults around him. Now, to the world, old age may mean retirement. It may mean retreat, and is commonly associated with decline, physically, mentally, vocationally, and it carries assumptions like diminishing relevance, limited energy, and waning influence. But in God's kingdom, old age can mean renewed purpose and lasting impact. It is not about growing weaker, but becoming more seasoned, more defined, and more useful in God's hands. We read in the Bible, from Old Testament to New Testament, God never retires His people. So you are planning for retirement, bad news. If you live a righteous life, no retirement. Because God never retires His people. We all know Abraham was 75 when God called him. And at 100 when he had, Isaac was born. Sarah was 90 when she bore Isaac, and Moses was 80 when God called him at the burning bush. And we heard from Pastor Margaret this morning, Caleb was how old? 85 when he asked for the mountain. Daniel was likely in his 80s when he faced the lion's den. In the New Testament, we also read about Anna the prophetess, who was likely to be in her 80s when she saw the Christ and gave thanks. Apostle John, when he was exiled in the island of Patmos and received powerful vision and inspired to write the book that we read today called Revelation. He was in his late 80s and 90s. Closer to home, we have Pastor Dowdy, whom we all know just celebrated her 90th birthday. She's a living testimony that age does not disqualify us. So let us not disqualify ourselves. I'm just quoting her. Don't disqualify yourself. Age does not disqualify you. And age did not disqualify her from purpose, from leadership, and from impact in God's kingdom. So all of you ladies here, if you are seated here and you are age 75 and above, later go to the counter, registration counter on my right here. The ushers will be waiting for you. We have a gift for you. And this special gift is a voucher to join us for the Women Arise Conference in July. There is a code for you to redeem in our website, and you can just register. Okay, so we appreciate you. Yeah. So that's what it is. So on my 60th birthday, Pastor Dowdy asked if I would take up a leadership role at NCW. At 60, many of my friends would have retired to enjoy life. For me, it wasn't because of age, but it was because it is beyond my wildest imagination. And I felt it is impossible. And I was told that my runway is too short, and I'm too old to learn the ministry. But ladies, before you ask God for the next mountain, God calls you at your 60, your 70, your 80, or your 90. And when you say yes, remember this: He will make the impossible possible. Amen. And He will grace you through every step. And I stand here to testify that. So when I look at Pastor Dowdy, 90, I think, what is 60? So in my early 20s, when I first heard Pastor Dowdy preach, I asked God for my first mountain. I said this to God: I want to grow up serving you and be a senior pastor like her. To date, it hasn't happened. So it's okay. You can ask for any mountains. Maybe you can also hope God doesn't give to you, but you have done your duty in asking. Anyways, joking. And now, yes, and now, God gave me the mountain, NCW. And of course, the mountain came with another mountain, Pastor Dowdy. So I'm thinking hard. I'm thinking very hard now. Do I want to tell God, give me the next mountain, that at my 90 years old, I will run like Pastor Dowdy? Hallelujah. Okay. Remember this. They still bear fruit in an old age. They are full of sap and green. Pay attention to the word still. It means continuous. You were fruitful before because you flourished like a palm tree, you grew like a cedar, you were planted in the house of the Lord, and you flourished at the courts of God, and now you remain fruitful. It's continuity. Spiritual fruitfulness doesn't end with age. In fact, it will bring wisdom, legacy, and deeper influence. Just that the fruit may look a little bit different as we age. Maybe less productivity, but more presence, mentorship, prayer, and blessing, but still deeply significant. Yes, as we age, our body may weaken, but our faith can grow stronger. Challenges like health issues, loss of a loved one may test our faith, but then isn't that a season, an opportunity to lean into God's presence like never before? The testimonies of his faithfulness of your past will give you confidence for the future, that you may every day say to God, Lord, I have tasted you, do it again. You have it. Claim it and declare it. Paul says in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 16, so we do not lose heart. Though the outer self may be wasting away, but what? Our inner self is being renewed day after day. Aging is not just about getting older. It is about growing deeper in Christ. I want to tell you a story now, which I think if you are familiar with a romance novelist, Chong Yao, you would have heard this news. At age 86 in December 4th last year, she was found dead in her home in New Taipei. She has taken her own life. And my generation grew up reading her novels as well as watching movies that has been adapted from her books. So in an open letter in Facebook, she said this, do not feel sad for me, for her, because she has gracefully left the world. And she said that she chose death to take control of the final major event in her life, rather than letting it determine by fate or endure a slow decline. She said that she wanted to avoid the painful process of weakness, decline, illness, hospital visit, treatments, and eventual futility. You know what? She was dead before she died. We die the moment we do not see a purpose. Do not be dead before we die. Both my grandmother and my mother once said this to me. I do not fear aging. I fear losing myself in a destiny I did not choose. I do not want to be a burden. Are these your thoughts too? My grandmother was bedridden for 10 years before she passed away at age 99. Regardless of how packed my schedule was, I flew home to Ipoh every month to take her out for her favorite shark's fin soup. I know you, if you're environmental friendly people, you say, what is this, shark's fins? But let me tell you this, if you don't eat the sharks eat you. Now, though my grandmother was immobile, she was never a burden. She never once complained about her helpers, no matter how difficult they were. She always smiled amidst her pain. And at every visit, she gave me a piece of advice, words that continue to shape me till today. So ladies, do not give up hope. Do not give up a purpose. But cling on to God's promises like what Pastor Dowdy said this morning in Isaiah 46, verse 4. Even to your old age and gray hairs, I am he who will sustain you. I have made you and I will carry you. I will sustain you and I will deliver you. Cling on to that promise. God is with you and he loves you very much. And I declare again that you will bear fruit in old age, and you will ever full of sap and green. When a tree is full of sap, it means it is alive, it is nourished, it is healthy. It is not bitter, it is not dry, it is not dying. Now, I'm reading from the ESV that says, they are ever full of sap and green. But the NIV says they will stay fresh and green. And the NLT says they will remain whiter and green. And the Singlish version say this. Even before I say, you laugh already. You know it's going to be funny or not. even when they old liao, they still can bear fruit. Still fresh, green one. You just have to remember that. Fresh, green one, right? So the words that we see in different versions here, sap, fresh, green, vital, is only simply paint a very vivid picture of inner vitality. It doesn't matter how you look outside, but the inner vitality will touch many lives. Age may weary the body, but God's presence will keep the soul green. A life planted in the house of the Lord will continue to flourish in the courts of our God, even when the world only sees what is old. Yeah? So yes, the righteous may grow older. We all will grow older. But you know what? We will never grow stale. Green, fresh one. Now here comes the most exciting part of my message. You know, I've entitled my message, oh, no. For some reason, the slides are not up. My message title, yes, The Unstoppable Old Tree Musang King. That's my message. My apologies to those who don't like durian. Now, those who love durian knows that the best durian comes from old tree. The older the durian trees, the better the fruit. It's more fragrant, and then it fetches a premium price. But you know what? It takes decades for the durian tree to mature. Sometimes the durian tree can even grow to 50, 80, 100, or even 200 years. Doesn't that sound like Psalms 92 verse 14? They will still bear fruit in old age, and they will still stay green and fresh. Let me share with you 4 thoughts that I have on this unstoppable old tree Musang King. Number 1, you are planted for the long haul. Every year, I take a durian portrait. So I take for them. If I could get a collection of very good ones, I just take a picture. So you are planted for the long haul. The durian tree, the old durian tree, is formidable because it draws deep from the roots, not only from the surface. In the same way, God has been growing you deep, year after year, through both sunshine and storms. You have been planted in the house of the Lord. You have weathered the winds, survived dry seasons. You have held through trials, and the younger trees might not even have endured or survived. And now here you are seated in front of me. You are still standing. You are still rooted. You are still bearing fruit, and you will flourish like the palm tree and flourish in the courts of God, I declare. My second thought, the best fruit comes with age. Whoa, I really love this picture. The best quality and the highest price Musang King we know come from the older trees. The fruit may be smaller in size. The skin, as you have seen, may look wrinkled. But the taste is beautifully complex. Bitter, rich, deep, simply unforgettable. When you look at that one, wrinkled skin durian, you say, wow, tokong. But when you look at another person, wrinkled skin, what do you say? It's very unfair, right? No, shift your mind now. Next time, anything wrinkled you see, beautiful. Priceless, right? You can be the same way, okay? You can bear fruit of maturity, test the faith of godly wisdom, and grace refined over time. It's time to declare. The best is yet to come. If you have not got those wrinkled yet, it will come. And that's the best. And you will carry the fragrance of Christ, a fragrance that only comes with years of abiding in Him. Third thought, stay fresh, fresh, green, green. Freshness is not about age. It's about connection. It's our connection with the one above. Your strength does not come from your physical body, but it comes from the Spirit of God who renews you day by day. Stay rooted in the Word, stay open in prayer, and stay connected in a community. That's what will keep you fresh, fresh, green, green. And here's one way to stay connected. Come volunteer at NCW. We welcome you. We are a network of Christian women who support and encourage one another to flourish. We are also a platform to empower and equip women, and we are a place to encounter God. Today, I'm very sure you have encountered God. Simply visit our website and register yourself as a volunteer. We need your help and your support. So, last point or last thought. Your legacy is ripening. A durian tree doesn't eat its own fruit. Otherwise, I have no durians to eat. So a durian tree bears fruit to bless others. In the same way, you are not here just to exist as a statistic for the government, but you are here to leave a legacy. Your wisdom, your prayers, your stories of God's faithfulness, like the spiritual durians, they are rich and nourishing for the next generation and generations, and even those who are not born yet, Pastor B said. And you are a living testimony that God is faithful to them. But my question to you is this: what legacy do you leave behind beyond a will? Be a witness. Together, may I encourage all of us here. Let us leave those who come after us a heritage of faithfulness. Pass on to godly lives, that all who come behind us find us faithful.